Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing great today. It's a bit chilly today, so I brought my Maasai blanket with me to keep me nice and warm. Okay. Today I thought of talking about revision tips. Yeah, we are going almost to the end of the year, and I know many people are going to be writing their exams. So I'm going to be sharing with you some revision tips. Firstly, you have to make sure you have the notes to revise, because no notes, no revision. I know that as we go throughout the course, in school, in university, sometimes you miss lectures, or sometimes you don't get what the lecturer is saying, and there are gaps in your notes. So before you get to exam time, make sure you fill in the gaps. Make sure your notes are complete. What I used to do in university, I had covered books. This is what I liked, because as a student, the life is rough. So I made sure I had these books. You can throw them away, you can sleep on them, you can do anything, and they're still intact. I knew my notes were safe, so I loved hardcover books. It's a personal preference. Others like spiral, others like some other fancy notebooks, but I like them hardcovered. And what I did was, in my notebook, I would come up with something like this. Let me just show you. I would make a line. Okay, this is how I do it. So every page had these lines. What that meant was this part was for my notes, and I reserved this part if I needed to do extra reading, extra research, and fill in, just some extra notes on the subject. If I had written the whole page, if I get extra information, it becomes really clustered and really ugly looking. So I made sure I had that demarcation so that later on, before exam time, I did some extra reading, extra research. I would just write the extra here. Now, you have your notes. The next thing is, where are you going to be revising from? Make sure it's an environment that you like, environment that is clear. Make sure you just have your books, your pens, within reach. Phones, keep away. Okay, they're a distraction. And it's clear, it's clean. In university, what used to happen was some people used to go to the library. So one day I decided, Joy, you need to be serious at school, you need to go and read in the library. So there I was, got my book, went to the library. After 30 minutes, my head was aching. The environment was too quiet for me. You could just feel, you could hear a pin drop. I'm telling you, it was quiet. And if you started moving around, everyone would turn and look at you like, what are you doing? You're disturbing us, we need to read. So I just decided, no. That was the first and last time I went to the library. So that environment was just not good for me. I thrive better in an environment when there's some background music. So I'd read in my room, turn the music down low, and that was a perfect environment for me. So establish a perfect environment for you with no disturbances. And before you read, don't just go there and just think you grab any book, that comes to mind or that is within reach. Have a timetable. If you do just whatever book is within reach, you find that you tend to not revise those subjects that you don't like. You tend to concentrate on those that you like. So those are the ones that you're going to be reading almost every day. And the ones you don't like, you're going to not really go through them. But the question that you don't like them doesn't mean you're going to write the exam on those subjects. So make your timetable. If you want weekly basis, daily basis, that's up to you. But just write like for revision that day, which subjects you're going to revise and for how long. It also helps you. You can't be reading oscillations. You can't be reading about chemical reactions for 3 hours. Your mind just won't concentrate. So change around. And what I used to do was a very intense subject, I would alternate with a less intense, and then like that, so that your mind gets time to breathe. And don't just sit there and read for 3 hours. Mind span. Read a bit, get up, get some fresh air, walk around, come back, start reading again. And also what helps is you can say maybe in the first phase you're reading notes, complete notes. In the next, maybe you're doing question papers, you're answering question papers. In another, after some few minutes, you are remembering your notes and writing it down. I used to like that. I would read something and then I would ask myself questions and answer on plain sheets of paper. Because sometimes when you read, you feel like, I think I have understood this. But when you ask yourself a question and you need to write, you're like, what? I don't remember, So writing it down helps you remember. That used to work for me. And I would alternate the things that I'm doing. And it would work. And eat. Don't sit there and study and not eat anything. Eat something. Be healthy. Drink water. Take fruit. Eat a meal. So that you are at least fresh, energized to do the reading. And don't punish yourself. Think when it's time to revise or study time, you forgo everything that you ever enjoyed. Of course, you can't do everything because it's exam time, but leave something there. Maybe if you enjoy a series, have 30 minutes or an hour where you actually watch the series and then get back to your studying. Don't cut off everything that you ever enjoyed and just say, I'm just studying. No, it's not good for you. So that is the studying done. And as I study, you don't study a few weeks to the exam. You start some months, okay? You go through the notes. What I used to do, this is the phase. Some few months to the exam time, I would be going through my notes, notebooks, everything. And then from the notes, I would come up with points. That is the major points from what I've read. I would put those maybe on study cards. I love color, so I would write greens, yellows, reds, on my study cards. So I would constrict everything down to the study cards, which I would carry with me. Let's say sometimes if I'm traveling, I'm on a bus or I'm somewhere waiting for somebody, I'll just take out my study cards. They're like a deck of cards, so I'll be looking at the points and then I'm like, okay, sedimentation. Okay, what do we have under sedimentation? No. Look at another card. And they're compact. You can put in your bag, you can put everywhere. So there'll be a time where you can't go back to notebooks because the exam is approaching, it's quite close. So you're down to your study cards. That is what now you're concentrating on. So yeah, that is what you do. Then the day of the exam, get to the exam on time. At one point I was lecturing at a polytechnic college in Harare. So I was invigilating on that day. My schedule showed me that there was a student who was supposed to be sitting at a certain place, but he wasn't there. But we know students are students. So I was giving everybody the papers. Then there's a time where you ask everyone to look at the paper, or after some few minutes for them to start. The guy had not turned up. And 10 minutes into the exam, the guy comes in drenched in sweat. The guy is breathing heavily. Sweat is dripping everywhere. And the thing was, in the exam room, we had different departments who would be writing. So you're trying to establish where is the engineering group, and then I saw him and I lifted up my hand. Then he approached and said, okay, you sit there. The guy is disoriented. He has to calm down first. It was a mess. So get there in time, sit, relax, just get used to the environment, relax and just wait for the exam. Get there on time. And also dressing, you need to go there dressed, the way you really feel like, yeah, I'm dressed for success. I'm going to ace that exam. Because it starts with you, it starts with your mindset. To feel like I'm pretty ready for this, I'm dressed good. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna ace this exam. And when you're in the exam, they can say start writing the paper. What happened to me, third year, it was the structures exam paper, and it didn't help that people were saying that structures is a very difficult exam. You know, it just made everything worse. So we're told start writing. So when you started writing, what I do is I go through the whole paper to see what questions are there, because they say that when you see what other topics are there in the questions, as you're writing one question, your mind already is processing information on the other topics that are there. So I open, okay, question paper. I read the first question. No, I don't know this. Second question, I don't know this. Third question. Then I got to the end, I was like, what? I know nothing on this exam. I just felt like a slow motion of the shutter, darkness just closing in, and I just felt, I'm losing this. I said, Joy, you're going to fail. Then I just checked myself. I said, you know what? Joy, you're going to fail if you don't pull yourself together. So I put down the paper on the table. I sat back, then I started to breathe. In, out. In, out. Then I felt myself calm down a bit. I felt myself calming down. Then I was calm. Then I picked up the paper. Then I opened again. And I realized, oh, I do know this question. It's crazy. I do know this. Yeah, I have an idea of this. Yeah, I know this. It was just crazy, and after that, what I do is I'll start with the questions that I really know, because answering that one well will boost my confidence to attack the next one. I don't start with the difficult ones. Difficult ones are for the end, and they'll probably waste my time, and I'm told to stop writing when I've not answered all the required questions. So I start with the ones that are easy, boost my confidence. Yes, I'm an achiever. Go to the next one. Yes, Joy, you're acing the exam, So that's what I would do. And, I really learned something from that third year paper, that sometimes it's in the mind, it's how your mind is set. Because for me, when I entered that exam, I was like, this exam is going to be difficult for me. I'm going to fail this exam. Am I ready? Think this paper is difficult. And that's what my mind said. And when I looked at the paper, I couldn't understand any of the questions. But when I sat back, put everything down, and started breathing, I looked back, I was like, okay, yeah, I do know, and I did get a 2-1 for that paper. Amazing. Yeah, I did get a 2-1. So those are some of the tips which I hope will help you ace your exam and get those A's. Otherwise, if you like this video, share it, subscribe, and all the best in your exams. Have a great week and see you soon.